Hi everyone, welcome back to the Shrink Shake Pod.
I'm Utkarsha.
And I'm Tina.
And we're two shrinks who like to shake things up.
And before we shake some things up today, a very quick disclaimer. This podcast is in no way, shape, or form a replacement for therapy. But if you do need therapy, reach out to us at the Coping Central. Anything you need to contact us is in the description box below. What are we talking about?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Is it my birthday special episode?
No, it's about telling the world how you're the worst daughter in the world.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Why are you calling me the worst daughter?
Because you're not sanskari and you don't follow any of the rules and you're out at home,
Out at home.
Out on
I'm
the
out at
streets.
home.
Out on the streets away from home at 8 p.m. and after 8 p.m.
Also, I'm a man then.
No,
Just a bad daughter.
you're a bad daughter.
I don't think it makes me a bad daughter. And if it does, then I think all of us should be bad daughters.
That's the plot line.
Oh, that was a
Woo!
great one. I really enjoyed doing
I
that.
don't know all of that.
Oh my god. What's a bad daughter?
You tell you are one.
I think a bad daughter is someone who realizes that they are not just a daughter. And that's a very grim statement, honestly.
Yeah. I was just like, what?
Because-
What?
No, it's a grim
Not-
statement because what the hell?
Are you saying it in a good way, Grim?
Yeah,
I
like
don't think-
I am saying it in a good way, grim. Like that's a grim point.
Yeah, like it hits you hard.
Yeah, like it hits you hard.
Yeah.
No, but you tell me, what is a bad daughter? Who is a bad daughter?
I think the reason we're talking about this today is
Mm.
because there are a lot of these conversations around the fact that, women should be angry and they should sort of put their anger to the right place, and women are falling sick because how much of they had to endure and push their emotions away,
Yeah.
etc., etc. But I do truly feel like that the starting point of becoming angry and taking up a lot of spaces, woman starts in the role of being a daughter, because I feel like that's the first role that you sort of
Get.
endure and you kind of take on. And in that role, there are so many rules that rule abidingness really sort of spills over into every other role that you have to play, and then it becomes hard for you to sort of break out of that habit
Yeah.
of following all the rules. So the sort of trick or the key to becoming angrier, or to the trick to sort of become more human, more of a person, is to start becoming a bad daughter. And bad,
Yeah.
again, solely in the context of the world that we live in and the
Yeah.
idea of goodness that's kind of projected onto us.
100%. And I think so much of the idea or the trope of the good daughter rests on how much you can suppress your emotions.
Yeah.
That like you should constantly be available for everyone at home. You should know, पापा ऐसे में ऐसा हो जाता
Yeah.
है और मम्मी के साथ ऐसा होता है ऐसा हो जाता है. What do they know about you? One.
Yeah.
And second, what do you know about yourself? Because you've just been taught to look at someone else. So
Yeah.
you might have a very varied emotional spectrum, but it's only as long as someone else is involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like how this functions, right? Like if I am growing up in a household
Yeah.
where I have to be like a good daughter and take care of my mother and my dad and my siblings and my grandparents and everyone else's emotions, then I also have like a very pinhole view of myself, because then I'm only looking at myself as they are looking at me.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking inwards. I'm not asking myself, what is this making me feel to
Mhm.
kind of take care of everyone else? Because I don't have the time to do that. The
Yeah.
moment I pause and do it, some calamity has sort of,
Yeah. 100%.
fired up, and then I have to sort of attend to that. So neither do I get the time to be a good person / bad daughter, like good person for myself, not
Yeah.
like good being used very arbitrarily for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't, neither do I get the time to be a bad daughter, nor do I have the permission to be one. Plus, if I am one, there are too many consequences.
100%.
So it's also a structural hazard that really comes our way when
Yeah.
we're talking about being a bad daughter. Like, we're also talking about this with a lot of awareness of
Mhm.
how much you'll have to go against the grain to actually embody any of this.
100%. And I really, really appreciate how you use the word structural hazard, because again, it might sound like a really small thing that you have to do, but systems will collapse the day daughters stop being good
Yeah.
as is required of them. And you know how you said that you sort of look at yourself, how someone else views you, and you also only appreciate yourself by how someone else does. And the
Mm.
only appreciation you get is by doing something for someone. So then
Hmm.
I think when you only know to exist in a transaction, you don't know what life will look like
Hmm.
outside of it.
Hmm.
You know, what would it mean for me to do something for myself? Because there's going to be no one, you know, whose life will be sorted quite
Hmm.
literally if I do it for them.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do you
Hmm.
think are other, you know, defining traits of a good daughter?
Hmm. I think a good daughter has to be quieter, has to be agreeable, has to never sort of never fight. You
Yeah.
know, always be in this space of being very self-sacrificial.
Mhm.
And a good daughter is not too far away from being a good mother and a good mother, like a good daughter-in-law and a
Yeah.
good sister. You know, like all of these sort of roles are very intertwined, and a good employee and a good whatever, right? Like, because
Yeah.
I think going back to what we also spoke about, that the idea that if you're obedient, that
Mhm.
makes you a good kid, is a wrong idea, because
Yeah.
obedience often comes from a place of fear, because there's no other way known to exist except being obedient. And
Yeah.
if obedience is the only way I know how to exist, and the moment I am supposed to stand up for myself, I will lose a lot of ground, because I've never known what it means to not be obedient.
Yeah.
So I think a good daughter is somebody who's obedient, who's self-sacrificial,
Mhm.
who's agreeable, who's saying yes to everything, who's overextending themselves to accommodate everyone else,
Yeah.
and is then burnt out, constantly
Yeah.
burnt out, and also angry. Under the layers and layers of compromise is a very angry kid.
100%. And I feel like my hot take as someone who knows the language English is that the word agreeable should not exist.
Yeah.
It's the worst adjective to ever exist, because what do you mean someone's agreeable?
Everyone should be agreeable with me. I'm the most non-agreeable person on earth.
And
You know, when we took the test, there's this personality test. Side note.
I thought
Then
you
we
said
took-
we've taken
No,
a
no,
test.
we took a test in college, and it had this
Which one?
traits. Ocean. It's a
Oh, yeah,
openness. This is this.
Yeah.
So in that, there was this idea. There was this one trait of agreeable, and mine was the lowest. So it was like the lowest. And then everyone around me, all my professors came up, and they're like, "Why is this so low?" Because I argue.
They said why
They
this so low?
They asked me. They said, "Interesting that this is low. You're very open, but you're not agreeable." I was like, "Isn't that the correct way of being?
Correct.
Isn't that how we all should aspire to be?" So, and then they're like, "Oh no, but you know, openness means that you should be saying yes to more things. Say yes to things to make sense to me."
No, but then that also comes with the caveat, no? That say yes to more things, but don't say yes to the things that you actually want to do.
Yeah,
Say yes to everything that we want you to do.
yeah.
And that's
I think
great.
that's the idea of being a good daughter, no?
Yeah.
That you are seen to be it's almost like, and I'm going to say something controversial, but also very contextual, right? It almost feels like in a country like ours, where you can't have this conversation without acknowledging the amount of criminal activities that happen against or towards the daughters, like
Yeah.
including infanticide and feticide and just deaths, constantly children facing deaths, right? It almost feels like that the idea of being a good daughter has come in as a way to compensate for the fact that you are a daughter.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then you can't raise your voice, you can't say anything, you can't take up space, you can't be disagreeable
Yeah.
because we've let you live.
Yeah. I
And
don't think it's controversial.
It's
at
just
all,
sad.
right?
Like, I
It's
feel
really
like it's
sad.
really sad. It's
Yeah.
really sad that people will expect you to just be a projection of their fantasies
Yeah.
because you're not a son.
Yeah, dude, it's almost like 2 + 2 = 16, and it doesn't. I think I just also slowed down a little bit because that was so sad to hear, because it's true, right? And it's almost this thing of कि वो आपको रहने की इजाजत दे दे तो जितनी दे दे उतने में खुश रहो, and the moment you ask for more, the moment you say more things about it, you're just going to be the worst person possible. And it made a lot of sense when you said that you're going to have to go against a lot of things to be, you know, like a bad daughter, is because people will not skip one moment to remind you why you are like why you living your life is the biggest inconvenience to them. Because how dare you express your emotions, how dare you become loud mouthed, or how dare you become opinionated. And it's heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah, and it's also this, right? That there's this constant idea that if you're a good daughter, you are sort of bringing a lot of goodness and you're bringing a lot of pride to the family that you belong to. And the moment you become a bad daughter, the moment you start reminding everyone that you're a person with your own wishes, needs, desires, fantasies, it's almost like that they're reminded of the fact that, oh, a person can exist beyond the way we want them to exist. And it's almost like this, no? That I think that's the life of daughters in our country that's been like that. That there's almost like there's always this caveat of allowance. Like, you know, like I'll allow you to do things. Oh, you know, they allow me to go everywhere. They allow, and sure, you know, people have justified it in the name of safety, in the name of, oh, but kids don't know anything, and you know, you're young and this and that. But grown-up people saying this, right? Like a constant sense of, oh, I need to seek a lot of permission to exist. And the moment I stop seeking permission is when I become a bad daughter.
Yeah. And again, I think if we are so concerned about again, hot take coming up, if you were so concerned about your daughter's safety, you would go out and do something about it in the world, rather than telling your daughter that the world is an unsafe place. Because if your child is telling you that they have a fever, आप जाके दवाई लाओगे ना. You won't say shit like, oh, आपको fever है, or like sickness exists in the world. Now do something about it. And if you have sons, raise them right, because it's almost like sons get to be like they get to be dispensable parts of families, that you know, oh, whatever you do outside of this house is your life, and when you come back you also get to be in the duty of a son. But then you could go anywhere in the world and you would still be a daughter. No, that you would still have to hold up the pride of the family. You would still have to do some things. You will still have to make sure that you are not bringing shame in. But then sons just get to be men and friends and partners. But you never stop playing these roles people put you in. And it's, I want to start crying in this podcast.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great point, right? Like there's this, like you said, that sons get to be sons and get to be many other things. And, you know, when they're hanging out with their friends, or when they're with their partners, or when they're with their kids, or when they're with their bosses, there's not a voice inside of their head that's telling them that, oh, if I do this, will this make me a bad son? I mean, like, this is my experience of it. Again, this has come from a lot of conversations that I've had. People might have had different lived realities, and I'm not speaking for everyone when I say this. When I do feel like this, that when daughters are taking this, like even if they're sitting in a board meeting and they're taking an executive decision, the executive decision will be colored by the lens of, oh, but will this make me a good daughter? Does this make me a bad daughter?
I will interject. Let's take for example that this board meeting is happening at 9:30 p.m. in the night. You know, I need to rush because I'm being a bad daughter, because I'm not at home, but I also need to be present here because I'm an employee. I think, have you seen those videos where men try out period pain stimulators? I wish there was a brain version of it.
And I feel like that it's not even half-assed. Like the cramps and the period pain is not half as painful.
5%, dude,
as
honestly.
What goes on here in terms of the mental math and the gymnastics of making sure that every step you take comes with the weight of, oh, this is me. Either, like, you know, it's almost like every decision you take is a gamble on your family's honor. And that's a lot. I often say this in therapy. I often say this, that we need to give small meaning to small actions.
Yeah.
Because if we give big meaning to small actions, our fears also become bigger.
Yeah.
The consequences feel bigger, our anxieties feel bigger. And the
Mhm.
only way to reduce it is give small meaning to small actions. Like, oh, I'm running late, it's 9:30. That means I'm running late, it's 9:30.
Yeah.
That means, oh, I'll be late in the way that I go to bed and I might not get to see my parents. That's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Small meaning, small action.
Hmm.
I'm running late because it's 9:30. I might not get to sit with my parents. Makes me the worst daughter in the world. What if something happens to them tomorrow?
And they will die, and
I will think about it, and I will carry the guilt and the burden of it. This is how we think.
Sun is out clubbing whole time.
This
by
is
the
how
way.
women think. This is what happens in our head. There is so much, and people often say, "Mat lo responsibility, mat karo."
Thanks,
Why?
yaar.
It's really not that easy. It's not that easy because it's hardwired into how our nervous system is formed. And the second thing is that even if you are somebody who's worked on yourself and
Yeah.
been to therapy and done all the boundary work and set all of this in place, right? It cultural fabric cultural fabric rarely changes. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You have to go back and interact with the same systems that operates on guilt being the currency
Yeah.
and the connection between you and parents and
And
neighbors
the world actually.
the world actually. Yeah.
And it's again going back to the point that, chalo, even if someone says matlo responsibility, maybe that lands as great advice for someone.
Yeah.
ठीक है, sure nahi le rahe responsibility kal se. But people will be breathing down your neck, reminding you that this is your responsibility. And it happens so subtly that people, again, if I was to make a focus group of 15 sets of parents and make them watch this, they'll just be like, yeah, it's normal ही है.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, तुम कल घर नहीं आए, मैंने खाना नहीं खाया.
Yeah.
क्यों नहीं खाया खाना?
Like, is your
How?
khana
Yeah.
dependent on me being home or not?
That
Is that not giving me the message that if I don't come, you will not eat, and if you don't eat, you will fall sick?
yeah.
Then me doing something at work or me living my life is directly responsible for your health.
Yep.
How? You're also an adult, I'm also an adult. We can have two different lives, and there can be a lot of love that can exist.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is just like an Indian household thing. There's this conflation of love and like a mountainous, gigantic amount of responsibility that you have to take because you love somebody.
That is also packaged as care.
Yeah.
कि इतना तो ध्यान रखना ही पड़ता
Yeah.
है.
I can take care of you, but I can also not be responsible for the actions you choose to do for yourself.
Yep.
To yourself.
Yep. I don't have any notes on that. That's a great point to make because, again, it is so infuriating that I think Indian parents tend to be very inferential in how they go about the world.
Yeah.
Indian people in general, right? Oh, they didn't ask me XYZ thing at XYZ function. This means that.
Yeah.
And then
small things,
Yeah,
small meanings.
things, small meanings. But then you come to something like this, and if, let's say, a daughter has turned bad and she said that, oh, but if you say that you didn't eat, does that mean that I'm only responsible for it?
Yeah.
And then they'll say, इतनी सी बात को इतना बड़ा बना दिया.
Yeah.
अरे, आपने इतनी सी बात की ही नहीं, तो बड़ी ही बनेगी बात.
Yeah.
And it's so, I am really angry. I need a time out.
Time out, every
I need a time out without the song, please. Thank you.
time out, time. Everybody.
Stop
look
saying the
at-
words without a rhythm now.
I don't know.
Silent time out.
Time out.
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But then, how would you? Okay,
Yeah.
for somebody who hasn't had the luxury to be a bad daughter yet,
Yeah.
how would you tell them they can be a bad daughter? Why should they be a bad daughter? Or how would you sort of promote being a bad daughter?
How would I promote being a bad daughter? I say this in therapy a lot. A lot of times we try out something new with the expectation of it feeling nice in the first go. It won't. Being a bad daughter is going to be the worst experience of your life till it gets better. No, it's going to feel like shit. It's going to make you feel really, really guilty. It's a line I love saying when I am in therapy. I often tell my therapist that if the conditions are right enough, I could apologize for global warming. And it's a joke that we have.
Apologize.
Yeah, I will. I'm really sorry for global warming. I'm really just killing the planet. I genuinely can though. But guilt will be your best friend. Guilt will sit on your shoulders every single waking moment of the day till the time you figure out how to get stronger in the face of it and the weight of it starts to feel lesser. No, then you can probably give it a little stool to sit on right next to you. Then maybe you can leave it at home for a day. But then the major point of it being, it's not going to feel nice. But just because things don't feel nice doesn't mean that we don't try them out.
And also, just because they don't feel nice doesn't mean they're wrong always.
Yes,
That's
100%.
That's the idea that always exists, no? That if it feels strange
Yeah.
or it feels bad, that means it is bad or it is
No.
wrong. No. It can be a new feeling that your body has no idea how to make sense
Yeah.
of. And until and unless you keep practicing it, you won't get. I think somewhere it's also this, no? That, oh, there's this idea that if I'm feeling like the whole thing of guilt only coming in when you're doing something wrong. But when there is just one idea of rightness that's been given to us,
Yeah.
guilt will come in anytime you try something different also.
Yep.
So right and wrong really stands arbitrary in that space where, you might be doing something different, you might be doing something that actually is making you feel very good, is kind of giving you access to a bigger life than you already have.
Yeah.
But guilt comes in and then you feel like, oh, this is the wrong thing to do. I don't want to be doing this. At that point of time, it's also important to ask yourself that, is this wrong or is this just something new that I
Yeah.
haven't tried out yet? Or is this something that my body is not aware of yet and I need to kind of see this through? I feel like this one very cliche thing, no? Like to be a bad daughter, the only way out is through. You'll
Yeah.
have to sort of practice it to get to a place where you're at peace with it and everyone else
Yeah.
stops expecting you to be good. And then when they stop expecting you to be good, that's also a window for you to repair your relationship with your
Yeah.
parents, because they get to parent a newer version of you
100%.
if they're willing.
If they're willing. Again, like context. And the other thing is, okay, therapist hat on for this thing. But I think, when you said that guilt comes in even when you're trying out something different, I think a lot of times we think of our emotions as, this one character who's angry and who's feeding spoonfuls of guilt within you. It's not. Your guilt is also as scared as you are. You only get to be like a portal for your emotions to come out. And I think you had said this to me once, that I think my second tip is allow yourself the imagination of what you would want life to look like, including the people in your life. Do you wish that your parents were different? Cool. Hold on to that imagination. And the next time guilt visits, ask yourself that, oh, if I had that version of my parents, would this still come in? So then more often than not, guilt is socially produced and it's not something that's coming from within you. No?
And guilt can be negotiated with, right? Like that's the
100%.
thing, that you need to negotiate with guilt. You need to negotiate with this voice in your head, because it's not something that won't listen to you. It will resist because it's trained that way. But
It's yours.
you have to be accountable to be able to sort of have that conversation with it.
Yep. And again, I feel like we can say this every podcast. Emotions are not the size of the world. They
Yeah.
can feel like that as long as we keep ignoring them. The moment you look at them, they turn into handfuls and they are, manageable, or you can deal with them or listen to them or understand them. I said like 6 things that mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Emphasis.
It
What else?
tells
How
you
else? How
who's
else
a
do
bad
you-
talker. Bad daughter, bad talker.
Yeah, now?
Mm.
Now what to do?
That's it.
I'm not guilty about
That's
it.
it. You should be.
Yeah, I am
legitimate.
not. I've given it up.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
पॉडकास्ट हो गया आप घर जाओ अपने अभी के अभी. Another way, which is one of my favorite ways, also very surprisingly, I feel like it's been one of the only few conversations I've been having in the therapy room, is to how to be more angry as women. I think women are not angry enough. I truly think that all of us could do with a lot more anger, because we think anger is something that is standing in our way. It's not. It's literally with you and it's telling you, hey, what's happening is something that I don't like.
Mm.
And we're genuinely, I meant to say generationally, but also genuinely taught to ignore that voice because people are very uncomfortable with it. People get really uncomfortable with the idea of a woman getting angry, and I think it's okay. People can sit in their discomfort. Again, context, don't make someone uncomfortable to a point of them, not feeling the best about themselves. But we must think at one point in time that how is it that me experiencing emotions on a very personal level, making you feel so much discomfort.
I think it's also this, no? Like I do also have what you say put into context, but also translate what you said
Oh, sorry, I'm
accurately.
speaking Japanese.
No, but in a way that where it's not misunderstood,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like because when you're talking about anger, when you're talking about experiencing anger, there's this idea that if you're angry, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah,
And if
or
you're
violent.
angry, you have to be violent. If you're angry, you have to take out anger on somebody who you're angry because of. It might not be possible at all points of time. So when we say that women need to feel angry or daughters need to feel angry, that comes from a place of, are you recognizing or are you giving space for your anger to exist?
Yeah.
Because your anger is telling you that there is something unfair, unjust, hurtful, harmful that's happening, and you're experiencing that and then experiencing the anger that's coming up after that.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to, even if there's, and people often say this, that, oh, but I get angry and I can't do anything about it. What about it? You can. Being angry doesn't mean that you kind of make the source of anger disappear. You can
Yeah.
also recognize the fact that this is your source of anger,
Yeah.
and then make yourself disappear from that space.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing, that when you recognize your anger, when you realize that it's something that is harming you, it is something that is hurting you, it is something that is making you feel that you're in the face of a lot of unfairness,
Yeah.
you would want to take an action about it, and that action might not be directed outwards.
Yep.
It can be directed inwards, it can be directed in the way your life is designed, and you can choose to do something about it. So anger leads you to a lot of agency.
Yes.
And I feel like being a bad daughter is about reclaiming that agency.
100%.
It's about making choices that also bring in discomfort for you, because
Yeah.
again, these are not choices that are easy to make. These are not choices that are pretty. These are not choices that are conventional. These are choices that might lead you to feel lonely. They might lead you to feel angry. They might lead you to fight with some people, be in a conflict.
Yeah.
They might get to a place where others are sort of pointing fingers at you. So being a bad daughter, all in all, is an unpleasant experience.
It really is, but only till it gets pleasant.
Yeah,
Only
and
till
it does get pleasant.
It
To
does.
it, like if there's one guarantee about the whole experience, it's the fact that it does get pleasant. It does get pleasant because then you also realize how much of a person you are letting yourself
Yeah.
be, besides just being somebody's daughter. And again, what I said before, right? That once you allow yourself to exist in a sense of fullness, everyone around you can relate with you in that fullness and in that capacity of you being full.
And
if
can also access that fullness,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
if you're doing actions completely blindfolded for someone, you are not really always aware of the fact that, oh, does this person need what I'm doing for them?
Yeah,
No, but then people can take and choose what they'd like instead of you feeling like a deer in headlights going
yeah,
around doing everything for everyone.
yeah. And that also allows that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? That's so often where the burnout comes from, where you're doing everything for everyone, but you don't really kind of understand your needs, and you don't understand other people's needs, and then you're burnt out by the end of it. So I think like it's this, like, being a good daughter actually is not serving anyone,
It's not.
because you're overextending yourself, so you're getting tired. You might not be then able to meet the needs of somebody else who is expecting something from you.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in a constant loop of disappointing yourself and people around you. So it's not a fun deal.
It's really not.
I don't want to sign up for it.
Stop doing it right now. I
Yeah.
think that's our last point. If you're a daughter watching this, be bad, wreck some shit. I'm kidding. Just be bad right now.
Yeah, be bad in the idea of the bad that goes against the grain of being like the Adarsh
Yeah.
Beti idea.
The
that
idea
this-
of an Adarsh Beti was written by a 50-year-old man. He should be an Adarsh Beti. He wants it so bad. Ask everyone else around you to be a good daughter. I think that's the way.
it messes up with your head being a good daughter.
It really does.
It really does.
It's, imagine if you couldn't, like, you had a number for your eyes, but then everyone came in and gave you the spectacles for their power. Your world is always going to be blurry till the time you figure out what helps you see.
That's a good metaphor. Good one.
I thought you were gonna stop me midway and be like, "Kya hui?"
I was about to.
You're about
I
to.
was
Then I
about to.
reclaimed it.
I was
My
like,
agency is so
I'm
back.
not sure if you're going the way it's supposed to go.
This is what a dad looks like, just by the way.
But then I was like, oh, it is making sense. So I guess I'll let her be a bad daughter only for me to reap the benefits of it at the end of the
Oh
sentence.
my god, that's therapy speak final boss.
But that's the thing, right? Like being a bad daughter is one of the most uncomfortable processes you'll go through in your life.
You will.
Completely.
Just know that you're not alone in that process. There are other
Yeah,
bad
like have
daughters.
friends, have people
Yeah.
who've been bad daughters and have been able to kind of see through the
Yeah.
process of it so that you know there is light at the end of the tunnel. Again, like I said, it will be a
Yeah.
lonely process for you to also take up.
Yeah.
So,
And have a bad daughter vision board. Don't go
Yeah.
into something without a plan.
yeah, just wear black all the time. That's what
It's not about being the next star for Terminator
it is. It's like
or
it's
the
like
Matrix,
it's like emo girl,
but bad.
but bad daughter. So that's what
Roar.
it is. That's what it is. That's all.
Wait, I can't do it.
That's the thing. If you were an emo girl when you were 16, you have the capacity to be a bad
Baby,
daughter.
no, that's not. What?
And that's just like
We've lost it. We've lost the plot. आपको थोड़ा गुड होने की जरूरत है क्योंकि ये तो कुछ नहीं मतलब था इसका.
I'm just saying shit. I wasn't an emo girl. I really wasn't.
Listen, anyone who's listened to Emptiness is an emo girl.
I
Did you
didn't
not
like
listen
the
to it?
song.
Of
I didn't
course,
relate to
pick
the
me
heartbreak.
alert.
I didn't relate to
Bam,
it.
bam.
I was like, oh.
You didn't relate. Oh my
No.
god. I would really like to see who related to a boy faking having cancer so that his girlfriend would come back. You know who you sound like. Enough. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of being a daughter in the face of this monstrosity. But be bad daughters, dude. And we'll see you.
And be grunge.
Big. Listen to Fall Out Boy. We'll see you.
It's just finger gunning.
Okay, bye.